Good morning, guys. We've got a gorgeous sunrise out there right now. Clouds are making it look pretty, very fiery oranges and pinks. It's warm too, 59 degrees on some southerly winds at 11 miles per hour. We're mostly cloudy but dry out there this morning. Temperatures are even warmer than they were this time yesterday by about 5 to 15 degrees. It's 64 degrees in Branson, 62 in Monette, and 61 degrees in Rolla this morning on those steady southerly winds that are sustained near 5 to 15 miles per hour. We'll keep things dry through the afternoon, so no road hazards for you. We'll keep things, again, just a couple of clouds, dry and warm. Highs in the lower 80s out there today. We'll have those temperatures only dropping into the 60s overnight tonight, and then warm lower 80s again tomorrow with a mix of sun and clouds. But by tomorrow, a strong cold front comes through, so that warm and sticky air mass could fuel some strong and severe storms, especially east of Highway 65 late in the afternoon and evening in that yellow slight risk there. So what we're expecting is not much today, just warm. A strong cold front Wednesday with some storms possible late. The biggest severe threat will be east of Highway 65 for damaging winds and large hail. Any storms that do pop will exit through the evening hours, and then we'll have cooler 50s around by Thursday. So again, here's those 3 days. Very warm today and tomorrow. A healthier storm chance on Wednesday. Cooler on Thursday with highs back in the upper 50s, back below average. We'll keep that cooler air mass around for Easter Sunday. 58 degrees with our next rain chance there. A couple of showers possible as the Easter bunny rolls around. Joe, Lauren.
New this morning, public health officials have said this week could be the worst we've seen from the coronavirus, and staying at home is crucial. But grocery shopping is one thing that's inevitable for everyone. So today, Nyjah McDonald joins us with ways to do that as safely as possible. Nyjah, good morning.
Well, good morning, Joe. For most of us, as you mentioned, it's impossible to avoid places like the grocery store and pharmacy, as we all have to eat even during quarantine. Health experts encourage you to limit the number of trips you take to the grocery store. Registered nurse for Cox Health, Cindy Edwards, says to bring things like hand sanitizer and wipes with you. Edwards says to practice social distancing once you're inside the store and only touch items you plan to purchase. The CDC recommends wearing cloth face masks in public settings. However, Edwards says to study the CDC's guidelines on this beforehand.
Once that mask goes on and you go out into public, it is dirty, which means there are could be part of the virus on the mask. And what I often see in the public is that when they get hot, they start touching the mask, pulling it away from their face, which contaminates their fingertips, or they take the earpieces and put it on and off, and you don't want to do that. Once the mask is in place, you want to keep it in place.
Well, both Walmart and Target are among two of the many places that have implemented new protocol aimed at helping limit the the spread of germs, rather. Both stores are only allowing a certain number of customers inside at one time. Target says over the next 2 weeks, it will distribute disposable gloves and masks to its frontline team members at the beginning of every shift.
Now an update from KOLR 10 News on the coronavirus.
Missouri is now reporting more than 2,700 positive COVID-19 cases, nearly 400 more than reported on Sunday. The state also says 39 people have died. Down in Arkansas, as of this morning, there are 927 cases, which includes 16 deaths. That's just 45 more cases than were reported on Sunday. Here in Greene County, there are 66 confirmed cases, no new deaths to report.
In some news around the region, a study projects at least 287,000 people in Kansas and Missouri could be hospitalized with COVID-19, and there are not enough hospital beds to handle that many people. With the number of beds now, Kansas City would only have the beds needed to care for the sickest patients. Smaller cities and rural hospitals would be in even worse shape.
For these rural hospitals, this is the place where the next wave of the pandemic hits. After it hits the cities, it goes out to rural areas. And in those rural areas, if they can't refer on to other hospitals or there are significant shortages of equipment, you can see a real death toll, a real problem.
That was Dr. Jeff Collier there, and he says urban and rural hospitals are working together to plan for the worst. Depending on the situation, those two could patient swap, moving less ill patients in urban areas to rural hospitals and critically ill patients to larger hospitals better equipped to treat them.
A Center for Pharmaceutical Research in Kansas City was selected as a clinical research site for one of 2 COVID-19 vaccine studies. There will be 40 participants in the first phase of the trial. The center is still looking for healthy patients, but says those who have volunteered are passionate about prevention. The FDA is fast-tracking the research. What normally takes years to approve is being done in months.
Benton County, Arkansas healthcare workers are getting gear that'll help protect them from the coronavirus. Emergency management distributed personal protective equipment to those departments now. The gear is from the national stockpile. Supplies were divided in 3 ways and distributed to first responders, hospitals, and private practices.
Around America, FEMA delivered medical supplies to Louisville, Kentucky and Chicago as the United States continues to fight COVID-19. The National Guard helped move the supplies to hotspots around the country and distributed meals in New York. 50 major disaster declarations have been granted by President Trump in addition to the nationwide emergency declaration. During the last nearly 300 million gloves have been distributed in the last week. That is 8 million masks and 3 million gowns also delivered by cargo plane.
Work is nearly done on the week-long effort to make a convention center in Detroit into a 1,000-bed field hospital for coronavirus patients. The project is at the TCF Center located downtown. Officials say construction work has gone extremely smooth. Michigan has reported over 17,000 cases and 727 deaths.
Happening around the world, police arrested a businessman for his supposed implication in the robbery of 2 million masks amid the coronavirus emergency in Spain. All of the stolen material, which included medical supplies and masks, were estimated to be worth 5 million euros. Some of it was sold to the neighboring country of Portugal. Health suppliers were removed from their boxes and protective plastic in order to hide its origin. Monday's data shows Spain's total cases are up to more than 135,000.
South Sudan has confirmed its first case of COVID-19. The patient is a 29-year-old female who arrived in the country from the Netherlands. She was a staff member of the United Nations mission down there. The government down there in Sudan has suspended all international flights, schools, religious functions, and other social functions that would actually bring together more than just 5 people.
The Secretary of State's office is looking into whether or not we'll be able to vote during this pandemic. Jay Ashcroft says he's gotten many questions about changing the way we vote to absentee, which would mean mail-in ballots. But to do that, current law would need to be changed. Changing the law would require lawmakers to get back to the Capitol, and they've been working from home since Governor Mike Parson closed the Capitol a couple of weeks ago. Ashcroft also says they're coming up with backup plans.
We are identifying polling locations that will not put people at risk. We're identifying poll workers. We're identifying new procedures and methodologies to allow people to vote. Is that expansion of our curbside voting? Is that setting up drive-through voting like we have with drive-through testing? Is that using disposable marking devices so that no stylus that's used on a poll pad is touched more than once and it's only touched by one individual? We are getting PPE ready. We are getting disinfectants ready for our elections.
They'll be using the upcoming municipal election as a dry run for November if the coronavirus is still a problem then.
And one more note of some local news for you. An area egg producer is going to donate over 300,000 eggs to Ozarks Food Harvest later on today. Opal Foods out of Neosho will be donating them to help provide protein for food insecure, recently unemployed families in the Ozarks. That donation is happening at 10 o'clock this morning. We take a look at what's trending right now, something that we need to watch out for. That was new from the overnight. The police in Maryland have recovered the body of Robert F. Kennedy's granddaughter in the Chesapeake Bay. She and her 8-year-old son were reported missing Thursday after going out in a canoe there. And the search for the son is still ongoing, but Maeve Kennedy's body has been recovered.
I believe that's Maeve's brother, right, that they're still looking for?
Her son, her 8-year-old son.
Oh,
they're still looking for there, Gideon. We need one last check of our 7-day forecast there, Lisa. Pretty warm today.
Yeah, warm, lower 80s out there today with a couple of clouds. We'll have a healthier chance of storms tomorrow. Some could be strong to severe, mainly to the east. We're back in the lower 80s there. Cooler 50s by Thursday and Friday.
All right, thanks for joining us to start off your Tuesday morning. as we all enjoy this beautiful sunrise over Springfield. We'll see you back here at midday.